All right, let's get back to the Mike Shildt. And I am also, you know me, not that impressed by getting ejected. Anyone can scream their head off.
Sure.
But even I have to acknowledge that was the right time and place. That was the moment when Mike Shildt was absolutely within his rights to lose his mind after his star player got ejected. And again, it wasn't just that one call. It was a number of calls. Every close call, seemingly from home plate umpire Adrian Johnson, had gone the way of the Yankees, whether it was balls outside the zone being called strikes for their hitters or balls inside the zone being called balls against Nick Pivetta earlier in the game. And the frustration had boiled over. Tatis pretty calmly, seemingly, said something to Johnson as he struck out and walked away. And Johnson didn't even have the respect to give him a real heave-ho. I think that's an insult when an umpire just gives a little tiny point. Like
you're 100%.
You're out of there. I thought that was an insult to Tatis, who certainly has the status in the game to deserve better than that from the home plate umpire.
Yes. And again, there's a way that you can get thrown out, and then there's a way that you shouldn't be thrown out. Casually whispering something to him and then walking away didn't show him up, didn't make a big deal out of it. Now, he may have showed him up on the pitch before when he kind of jumped, but again, throw him out then. If you have such a problem with him, then run him there. If you're that sensitive, to walk by, say, hey, man, that was even if he said, hey, man, that was an absolute horse-ass call, and I had to chase that next one because of it. And then he's walking away, and you give him you threw a guy out as he's walking away from you. That I have a problem with as well, and I always have. So ends up running him, and then Shildt had boiled over at that point. Shildt was on him second inning, third inning. I mean, he was from the dugout. Dude, when I say he was frothing at the mouth, he was. He had the...
You texted me in the fifth inning.
He had some gum in there that helped. But,
Hannah and I call it the meh. When you have that meh on the side of your mouth, he had that meh going last night, and he was hot. He was hot.
It's not quite drool.
No, it's not drool, but it's like meh. This is the best way we describe it. Is meh.
Spittle.
That meh. You got some meh right here, right? And he was chirping. I sent you guys a video of him in the fifth or something. He dropped a couple MFs there in the fifth. And
Mud even had to acknowledge a little HBO language there from Mike Shildt.
My whole family rewound it and watched it over and over and over.
After he told us that all he does in the hotel room is read the Bible and sleep on his own pillow.
He doesn't eat sweets, nothing.
Yeah.
Listen, he's an imperfect human like all of us, right? We all fall short. All right, we all lose our cool from time to time. And again, you talk about picking your moments. He picked the right moment. And when Tatis got run, that he'd seen enough at that point, and he realized, man, we are down 3 runs. He walks out, the paper goes flying, the glasses go off, and I went, "Oh, Adrian Johnson, I do not want to be you right now." And actually, we were able to get just a little bit of the audio.
Yeah, you couldn't hear this on the television broadcast, but if you listened very closely,
we got Dave
on
Marcus's
the
inside microphone.
The field
here.
mic. Yeah, this is what it sounded like in the 8th inning last night.
1-2 the pitch. Fernando swings and misses at the changeup, strike 3. Tatis will have parting words for Johnson right in his ear, and Fernando's been ejected. Boy, didn't yell at him, didn't show him up, just kind of whispered sweet nothings into his ear. And Adrian Johnson casually ejected Tatis. Now Mike Shildt is out there, and he is hot.
You threw him out? You want to go? You mother sucking mother you. No, you. That's 3 times, you mother. Got him. Man, he was hot. He was so hot last night.
Whew. Possibly a dramatic reenactment.
Yeah,
maybe.
Although you might have been fairly accurate.
Yeah, well, I watched it 50 times. I couldn't get enough. There's nothing I love more than a great ejection, especially when it's my guy.
Only it lasted about 2 minutes longer than even you could pull it off. That's how hot he was. He kept
you
going.
Threw him out? You want to go? You mother sucking mother you. No, you. That's 3 times, you mother. Here's what I didn't like, and somebody brought this up in the chat. The umpire then, now again, all right, let me take my here. I'll do it like Schilt does it. Ready? Take my Padres glasses off. You're Adrian Johnson. You've been getting worn out the whole game. It's raining. You're wet. You stink. You stink. The game is a slog. You're standing in mud. All right, so let me try to really put myself in his shoes. They're up your ass all night. They're screaming at you. Toddy says something to you. You lose your mind for a second. Then you see Shildt come out, flip the script, throw the glasses. He gets in your face. He's screaming at you. He started giving it back to Shildt, and that's when I went, this may go to fisticuffs, dude. At this point, like
we know that the manager can't touch the umpire.
Yeah.
I was wondering what happens when the umpire takes a swing at the manager.
Bro, and he started giving it.
Shildt kind of bumped him a little bit on the arm.
I didn't see any contact, thank God. But yeah, he did not have a good game last night, man. He really didn't. And again, we'll wait for the umpire scorecard. Mike Shildt did reference the old umpire scorecard in his postgame. Paulie, do we have his postgame?
Yeah, here's actual.
Listen, this is really
real Mike Shildt.
Hey, boy.
So Toddy, I thought, handled it very well in the sense of, and I'll start by saying this. I mean, look, it's a hard job. I've got good relationships, great relationships with and respect and
pause.
The work of
Paulie and I both told our wives last night in the middle of this. I go, babe, wake up. Shilt's gonna say, I love umpires. I love them. I mean, it's a hard job. I respect them. I said, I promise you, this guy is the ultimate bread, meat, bread. I've told you guys about bread, meat, bread. Hey, man, I really like you. You're a great guy. You're also kind of a jerk. But at the end of the day, you have a big heart. So you give him a little
respect for the umpires. It's a thankless job. He was terrible. That might be the worst umpire I've ever seen. But look, it's a really hard job.
Bread, meat, bread. So he hits you right out of the bat. He's the master psychologist. Bread hits you with the bread first.
And Toddy had some pitches that didn't agree with. I didn't agree with earlier. I had made my comments from the dugout known, which I don't do a ton. But walks away, hand over his mouth, and next thing you know, he's ejected, walking away with his back turned for his first major league ejection. And then there's a comment about, which I won't even share the comment. All I can say is this. We'll talk about track record. I don't have players that I've managed for a long time now, minor leagues, big leaguers. I don't have players that get ejected. My job's to do, and I don't get ejected a lot. All right. So, but I probably have the fewest amount of player ejections in my time managing. So our players play, they stay in the game. They're very respectful, rightfully so, to the umpires. I have the majority of the league that over the course of many years have been complimentary about how our players respect them, and me and our staff respect them. But he made a decision. He threw him out. I let the body of the work for the umpire grade speak for itself, and we'll leave it at that.
There it is.
Your glasses escape unscathed.
My glasses made it. I did have my head about me to make sure. I got some, a lot of BP, so my shoulders, not as operable as I'd like. But it came into play, and I made sure it stayed in the grass. I didn't want them scratched. I like these glasses a lot.
Have you ever thrown your glasses before from an argument like that one?
No, I don't think I have.
AJ Cassavell.
Have you ever thrown your glasses before from an argument like that one?
No, I don't think I have.
I'm looking up career ejections right now.
Aaron Boone is the active leader, I would imagine, in the other side of the dugout.
So number one all time is Bobby Cox.
Yeah.
John McGraw. The active leader right now is Bruce Bochy.
Oh, well, all right. Just
sense.
the years accumulated.
The second one may surprise you. Sleepy Bob Melvin.
Really?
Terry Francona, Aaron Boone, Bud Black, Craig Counsell, A.J. Hinch, Torey Lovullo, Brian Snitker, Kevin Cash, Brandon Hyde, Rocco Baldelli, Oliver Marmol, Alex Cora, Derek Shelton, Ron Washington, Mark Kotsay, Dave Martinez. Then,
wow,
old Shilty. I don't know that I think last night was his 15th. So he will then catapult up over Kotsay and Martinez to be tied with Ron Washington for career ejections. Dave Roberts with 12, which surprises me because that dude barks. Maybe he just doesn't get run a lot. But they constantly cut to the dugout of him just barking at the umps. Maybe they just don't run him. But yeah, Shildt is he's down on the list because he's managed a lot of games. He's been doing this a long time. But it was a good one. It was a Hall of Fame ejection last night.
And you can argue whether it helped the Padres, inspired the Padres. I will accept arguments either way. Hey, Padre, it doesn't matter if the manager gets ejected. You still need to execute. You need to get on base. You need to get hits. The Padres did that. I have no doubt in my mind, though, that his players appreciated and respected him going out there and making their case for them and taking the ejection for the rest of them.
Now, I was not listening to the radio broadcast here on 97.3 The Fan, and I think I should have. I was texting Jesse Agler after the game, and I guess Tony Gwynn Jr. remembered that Adrian Johnson and Mike Shildt have a little history. Adrian, Ben, was on that crew during the National Series. So Shildt and he have gotten into it before. I think that's what Tony was saying. And so, yeah, maybe a little bit of history with these guys.
So that was when the Padres, the warning with Jurickson Profar coming up to the plate, and they did not then throw out the pitcher for the Nationals when he immediately hit Jurickson. Mackenzie Gore at the first batter of the game.
That's right.
And he was insanely mad. Like, okay, you just warned everybody. They threw at the first guy, and you're going to do nothing about it.
Still one of the most egregious things I've ever seen on a baseball field.
No, Brandon says, no, the Blue Jays series last year when Profar got ejected for tossing his helmet down. Okay, that one. That's the one.
Okay, not the National Series.
Maybe not the National Series. But Tony went into it in detail on the radio broadcast. Just another reason you should listen to games right here on 97.3 The Fan, home of your San Diego Padres. But yeah, a little bit of history there between the two.